Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Coffee's hot, frequency's alive. 145.430. You're listening to the morning hum. This is the Coffee Break Net. Steam rising with the sunrise glow, signals bouncing nice and low. Foothill light and silicon sky, morning check-ins rolling by. Call sign ready, mic in hand, voices drifting through the band. RF dancing in the air, someone's mobile somewhere out there. Heat up, drop your sign, one at the time, you're sounding fine. Sip so don't rush the day, net control will lead the way. Coffee on the console, radio's awake, morning on the machine, give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean, so like riding on the beam. Checking out, don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. From the hills to the bay, W6EK Echo Kilo starts the day. Check in. AllStarLink been feeling strong. Echolink brings friends along. Mobile bass or handheld tight, everyone's sounding right. Morning traffic rolling through, signal reports 5x2. Laughing in between the keys, coffee cup and beeper R's. Mic drop, carry a tone, you're never really alone. One more round, take your place, good vibes on the interface. Coffee on the console, radio's awake, morning on the machine, give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean, sunlight riding on the beam. Check it out, don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. Morning voices, RF stream, coffee break, live on the machine. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Coffee's hot. Frequency's alive. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Good morning. Voices. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand
Yo, good morning, peeps. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater located in Auburn, California. The Coffee Break Net where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. This net is sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club in Northern California. We're here every day of the week from 30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. Please welcome your net control host and conversation facilitator, Brian, AI6US. EB and old school gangsta, checking in from beautiful Vista, California. Get the Coffee Break Net underway because it's a great way to start our day. Let's roll home, boys and home girls.
Yo. Good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net. It's Wednesday, hump day. It's Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Good morning and welcome to the Coffee Break Net here on the W6EK Repeater, connected nodes and repeaters. Hey, well, thanks for joining us this morning. Let's see, before we get our check-ins underway, let's go ahead and see what the national and international days are. I know we have a lot of reading fans out there, so today is Tolkien Reading Day. Fans escaping the ho-hum world here on Earth for the otherworldly magical land of Middle-earth. Tolkien Reading Day. Today is National Medal of Honor Day, where we honor the valor of the most courageous servicemen and women in the U.S. military. Today is also Little Red Wagon Day. Maybe you, growing up, had a red wagon that would haul stuff around and maybe shoot you down the hill to crash at the bottom. We're going to have a little red wagon, I think, at the Ham Fest, carrying around coffee and donuts for the vendors. Today is Bed In for Peace Day, a very pacifist way of protesting for peace. John Lennon and Yoko Ono first used this method 53 years ago to protest the Vietnam War. So, hey, if you don't want to get out and hold up a sign, just stay in bed. International Waffle Day. Doesn't that sound like a good one? International Waffle Day was originally celebrated in Sweden as Våffeldagen Day, but now celebrated worldwide. And how do you enjoy your waffles? My favorite are malted waffles loaded with butter, real butter, syrup, and maybe some applesauce on the side to dunk in. Yeah, today is International Waffle Day. Did I make you hungry with that description? Maybe you have your own way to enjoy waffles. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get Coffee Break Net check-ins underway. I'm first going to reach out to folks checking in from Northern California, whether you be on connected repeaters or through the internet. If you're in Northern California, I'm going to invite you to check in first as a regional net. Good morning. Quick in and outs.
Good morning, Brian. AI6TC.
Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Mike Romeo, over. Wow, Northern California is underrepresented this morning. Maybe everybody's sleeping in. All right, let's go out to the internet, see who's coming in through Echolink or AllStar, connected nodes around the world. Who's out there this morning coming in through the internet?
Good morning, KC8 FQV, King Charles 8 Fox Queen Victor.
KJ5 TWN.
All right, good morning, Will, KJ5GWN, and good morning to Mark, KC8FQV. And good morning, Robert, KO6KMR, and good morning to Glenn, KI6TC. And, I'm looking at Supermon. Doesn't look like we missed anybody off of the internet this morning. Good morning. Start off with Glenn, KI6TC. Happy Wolfsdagen Day.
Very, very clever. Good morning, Brian, and good morning to the net. KI6TC. Well, I'm sitting across the table from my breakfast partner, Edward, at Hungry Hollow. And shucks, so darn, I didn't realize that it would be waffle day. I've already ordered, and I did not order a waffle.
I wonder if Hungry Hollow knows that it's International Waffle Day. So, maybe something they should put on the lit board there. Well, good morning to you, and good morning to Edward. And sitting across the table from each other, at least you're not going to lose your appetite. Two good-looking guys having breakfast together. What's for breakfast, Glenn? Beans it's not delicious waffles.
Veggie omelet is my choice this morning with hash browns and coffee.
How appropriate. Well, you guys enjoy your breakfast there at Hungry Hollow, and thanks for checking in this morning. Anything else for the net?
Not much. I'll enjoy listening, and everyone have a beautiful day. 6TC. Thanks, Brian.
So if anybody wants to join Glenn and Ed at Hungry Hollow, they're going to be that table in the corner, the big social table, surrounded by throngs of admiring fans and and appreciative waitresses. KI6TC, AI6US, good morning to you. Good morning, Robert, KO6KMR. Maybe grab a waffle on the way to work out this morning.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. Karen really likes waffles, so, that is an idea. But like you say, waffles and then the gym, and got a little bit of a project today. I pulled up this Easy NEC Pro 2 thing, and we kind of went over that in our class last night, and I'm going to see if I can get that thing figured out and then throw some ideas in for antennas to start building. Over.
Yeah, Easy NEC is a great tool for predicting antenna performance, and there are a lot of variables that you can put in there. When I first got into the hobby, it was still not open sourced, and it is a wonderful tool that is now available to everyone. And just input your element lengths, heights, and some other variables, and you can get a pretty good indication of takeoff angles and performance. So, yeah, very cool. I don't think it's something that you're going to, you might get some useful data out of it today, but it's a pretty complex tool and probably will provide days of entertainment.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's going to take me a while to get up and going with it, but it will be fun to work with a little bit. Other than that, that's really all I've got. I'll just turn it back over to you. I'm going to be, I think I mentioned this the other day, but I'll be at the Fest tomorrow morning about 4:30 or 5 to do the morning setup with the guys. So I'll probably see you out there then. Over.
Yeah, you will definitely see me in the beam of your headlamp. I will be there for Lynn and I will both be there somewhere around 4:30, and we have a lot of things to offload and get set up. So looking forward to seeing you there. I was looking at the sunrise this morning thinking, man, it is so late, as compared to what I remember Hamfest in the past. And it suddenly dawned on me, they shifted the Hamfest forward a week, which put us after daylight savings time. So that's why there's a difference. So we're going to have a little more set up in the darkness than we have in past years. Mark, Robert, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in. KO6KMR, AI6US. Let's head back to Mark, KC8FQV. Good morning.
All right, KC8FQV. Yeah, I was just washing my hands and water and hand and trying to push the button on the work with. But it was up to 40 when I looked about 8:30. It was up to 40 and the sun's out. But yeah, they say we're going to get up into the 70s tomorrow, but then they're going to pull the plug out on Thursday night to Friday morning. It's going to be interesting. What is it now? 48. Wow. From when I looked at it, it went up another 8 degrees, so it's moving the right direction. Yeah, I got to run up to take some paperwork up to the doctor's office. So it'll be nice. Going out, it'll be up into the 50s while I'm driving up there. So I keep finding nets all the time. Yeah, there's probably something here going on tonight, either the shack or the net, one of the two. So we'll send it back your way, KCFQV.
Yeah, this evening we'll be on Zoom in the shack. In the shack, of course, is hosted by the W6EK SFARC, and a great opportunity to share via Zoom projects that are going on in the shack. So maybe we'll see you there this evening there, Mark. How do you find In the Shack? Well, just head on over to W6EK.org. That's the club website. Click on Join Zoom Meeting, and that will be 3 p.m. Pacific time for In the Shack. Mark, have a wonderful day. KC8FQV, AI6US, 73.
Yep, 7-3. Yeah, just water and your hands don't work well with a touch screen. So KCFQV 7-3.
Yeah, but I have to remind myself every once in a while to get out the cleaning material for my touch screen. Always riding around in the back pocket and maybe not washing my hands as frequently as I should to use it. Good reminder. Get the screen wet once in a while. Good morning, Will. KJ5GWN.
Good morning, Brian. Yep, one unscreened something. I found that out the hard way. Anyway, I digress. Got a busy day ahead of me. Got a delivery coming between 12:55 and 2:55 local. Then I've got a appointment for my phone again. This time it's documented with customer service. They know about it. So anyway, it's hopefully going to get fixed today. And another problem erupted last night. My internet decided to take a dive on me. So we've got to replace the modem, I think. So anyway, back over to you, Brian. This is KJ5 Golf Whiskey November.
Yeah, it's wonderful to get one bill a month and know that everything's covered, but then, when all your technology is coming through one pipeline, yeah, it definitely can have a cascading effect. I hope they get that resolved for you so you can have reliable internet and your phone service back again. Absolutely. Well, good morning to you. You have a great Wednesday ahead there, Will. KJ5GWN, Oklahoma City, 7-3.
7-3 is Brian, and we're supposed to break records again tomorrow for record highs. It's supposed to be 91 today and 93 tomorrow. So we go in from winter to summer. No hint of spring in Oklahoma anymore. So anyway, back over to you, Brian. This is KJ5 W6EK November. We're clear and listening.
Just like some frozen hash browns from the freezer into the skillet. Your weather description. Well, Will, you have a great day, and yeah, that's hard on the body. The body doesn't acclimate that way too well. Kind of tough for the first acclimation period there. Have a great day. Clearing with KJ5 GWN. I'm Brian, AI6US, in beautiful Meta Vista, California, where, sure, well, looking out the window, the sun is shining. I can hear the birds singing. I'm sure the fish are jumping in the pond at the park across the street from the house here. Except they canceled the fishing derby this year for the kids because the water is too warm this year. They would not stock the pond for the fishing derby. First time in my memory that the fishing derby has been canceled for the kids at the Meadow Vista Park. Bummer. Good morning, Coffee Break Net. Little slow start this morning for check-ins. Maybe you folks are celebrating Bed In for Peace. Looking back 53 years to the John Lennon and Yoko Ono using this method to protest the ongoing war. Maybe you folks are sleeping in this morning to celebrate Bed In for Peace. Hey, let's put another call out there for quick in and outs for the Coffee Break Net. Who's out there this morning?
Morning. KA3 BGM.
Alpha Kilo 6, Quebec, Jeff in Roseville.
Good morning, Jeff. Kind of a weak signal this morning, so when we get to you, maybe you can sound like you might have been moving around there with an HT. AK6SQ, good morning. KA3VGM, good morning, Jimmy. KB6LUV, good morning to Brett. And Brett was in the middle of a kerfuffle. Who else was in there that I missed?
W6EKV. Kilo Echo 6, Juliet Echo Mary.
All right. AE6JEM, good morning, John. And good morning to Carl in 6CKV. All right, gentlemen have been added to the list for quick in and out, so let's head up to the top. Good morning, Brett, KB6LUV. Happy hump day.
AI6UX, SKB6LUV. Happy hump day. To everybody out there in Coffee Break Net land, it is another glorious morning here in South Natomas. Sun is shining. That big orange ball in the sky is gorgeous, starting to heat us up. The pool is getting sparkly. It'll probably be sparkly by this afternoon. Let me see, waffle day. I like my waffles also malted, but I like just waffles. And then butter and real maple syrup. The only way to have it. None of that fake stuff. We talked about that before. And Little Red Wagon? Nope. I got a little red scooter, though. Hi.
Well, maybe you need to get a little wagon to pull behind the scooter so make bigger grocery runs or something there. Yeah, absolutely. Real maple syrup is the topping on waffles, that is for sure. I grew up, my mom made multi-grain waffles, and that's where I learned that it was the toppings that really made them edible. Later in life, I discovered the variety of batters you could use, but I am really, a good waffle, especially if you can make a Belgian waffle with malted, I don't know, that's right on the top of the food chain for me.
Ooh, buddy, I already had breakfast this morning, but you're making me hungry again. Ugh. Well, I'm going to say good morning to my mom, Bonnie in Newton, Kansas. Morning, Mom. Hope you're having a good day. Stay on the cool side of the door, or maybe it's the warm side of the door, or maybe it's both today. Gotta wait 15 minutes and figure it out. And then yesterday, I know yesterday was Agricultural Day, but I forgot to mention, one of my neighbors just recently got a rooster. And dagnabbit, I'm a city mouse. Take your rooster and go to the country, because you're waking me up at 4:30 every morning, and it's ruining my sleep. Anyway, enough complaining. Life is too wonderful to worry about complaining about stuff like that. So I will say good morning. I will say everybody else in Coffee Break Net land, have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be blessed. KB6LUV. Be of love. 73. Clear and listen.
Not sure of what relationship you have with your neighbor, but I don't know if you're an unincorporated area or an incorporated area, but most counties and townships have regulations about the roosters. You can have up to X number of hens, but roosters are taken to the train station.
Yeah, they are illegal here. I am in Sacramento city limits. I am not cordial with those neighbors because it is across a high-tension power line easement, but just enough of an earshot right into my bedroom window. So I've notified the city. I don't like doing that. Normally I'm a let live and let live kind of guy. As long as what you're doing doesn't infringe on me, then we're good. But unfortunately, you're taking away my REM sleep. So that's that. KB6LUV. Thanks for being there, Brian. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. 73.
Of course, one could invite your neighbor to a barbecue and say, "Hey, why didn't you bring that rooster with you?" Good luck on that. Yeah, it's hard. You gotta pick your fights, and you need to do it the right way. Hopefully, that will be addressed without much more neighborly angst. Brett, have a wonderful day. Good morning to Bonnie back there in Kansas. Yeah, what a what a wonderful, wacky weather day they are having back there, a roller coaster of the weather. Have a wonderful day there, Brett. KB6LUV, AI6US, trying to find my tongue somewhere on the floor. Good morning, Jimmy. KA3VGM.
Good morning, Brian. Why don't you check on that guy after me and see if he wants to go before me? Because he sounded like he was mobile, and I don't want to take anybody's mobile. You go ahead of me. KA3VGM.
No, Jeff is standing on his back porch, probably in his slippers with a cup of coffee. He was probably just exiting his sliding door. So, yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay, just wanted to let you know if he was mobile, he could go before. Anyway, it's a semi-cold day back in Pennsylvania, but it's supposed to get up to 65. The sun is going in and out. You can't decide whether it wants to be cloudy today or very sunny, so I don't know what it's going to do yet. But all in all, not too bad. And I'm doing good, although I do have a question. Maybe I'm too far east for this, but I have honestly never heard of a malted waffle. What is a malted waffle? K3VGM.
Oh, my goodness. You've never had a waffle made with malted flour. No. Malt is a additive to a waffle, and malt flour is a sweetener, and it's quite often used in like making beers and such. But yeah, malt in a waffle just brings a wonderful flavor. You can buy malted batter mix, or even just make your own. But if you don't have any locally, Amazon is a good resource for it.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Maybe I'll get somebody to make one at some point. And I will try that and let you know how I like that. Because since you explained it, I've heard of malted beer, but I never heard of malted waffles. So, that's that story. Anyway, Brian, I'll say 70 degrees. Everybody out there, have a good day. Talk to you later. AI6US of the group, K3VGM.
Jimmy, do not feel bad. I, of course, had malted beers, especially some delicious ones over in Germany. But no, I had never had malted waffles before, probably staying in a hotel somewhere in the Midwest. And they had one of those make-your-own waffle machines with, and I had copied down the brand, and because I had never tasted a waffle so good in, make your own waffle breakfast. And that's how I got hooked on it. So, you were not alone. It's a closely held secret among waffle connoisseurs, I think. KA3VGM AI6US. And good morning, AK6SQ. Good morning, Jeff. What do you have for the net this morning? And did I hit it right? Out on the back porch with your coffee and fuzzy slippers?
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone on the Coffee Break Net. You were very, very close. First off, I just wanted to say thank you, Jimmy. I really appreciate that. My signal was quite low because I was in my Faraday cage riding down the street after dropping off my kiddo at school. Her drop-off time is between 7:30 and 7:45, so that's when I'm basically turning on the Coffee Break Net, and as soon as I can get her offloaded, that's when I'm joining in. So thank you, Jimmy. On the back porch currently with not fuzzy slippers, but slippers, and just getting ready to make some dinner, and then enjoy that before I head on to go to sleep. Back to you.
That's right. You live a reverse day and night schedule, don't you? Well, enjoy your dinner. My dinner after the net will be waffles.
Waffles are absolutely, and I will say this with no fear in my heart, but people may feel differently, waffles are better than pancakes, undeniably. That being said, my mother's waffle maker was probably my first choice inheritance for when I moved out. I asked my mother, please, may I take the waffle maker, because it works so dang good. Back when everything was bad for you, and everything that they made was using the wrong type of materials. Back to you.
Something tells me that you and I both inherited the waffle maker from our family. I have the big quad 4 chromed steel, Bakelite handles, cloth cord, no grounding, and my gosh, does it make the best. Those thick iron plates make the best waffles. Did I hit that nail on the head too?
You're slamming those nails down, Brian, except mine was a 2x2, or not a 2x2, a 2x1. So 2 at a time, not a 4 banger. Dang, you were very lucky and special, but we also had a small family. Lastly, I just wanted to say before getting off, I wanted to say thank you yesterday. You kind of pushed me over the edge, Brian, into volunteering for Hamfest. So I've emailed and put in my volunteer you kept hinting the whole time. It's early. There's something special about getting there early, so I will likely be there early and, get ready to go to bed after I'm done with Hamfest. That's all from me. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it, and looking forward to much more of the Coffee Break Net. This is AK6SQ, and I'll be clear and monitoring.
All right, remember to bring that headlamp because I kind of puzzled. I was a little puzzled why it seemed so dark at 6 a.m., whereas in years past I was thinking Hamfest, it was light by 6. And it's like, oh yeah, we're 1 week later. All right. Hey, good morning. You have a wonderful day there, Jeff. AK6SQ, we'll see you at Hamfest. And yes, the early bird does get the worm, and hopefully the worm is a good amateur radio purchase for you. Good morning, Carl, N6CKV.
Yeah, good morning, Brian, and everyone else out there. Did you hear that on your signal, Brian? There's a little bit of static.
Yeah, somebody on the Fireside Network, East Coast Hub, keeps keying up. So if you hear us back there on Fireside East Coast Hub, your signal is very poor getting into the system. So please, kerchunking is not cool. We don't want to drop the Fireside East Coast Hub. Good morning, Carl. What do you have for the net this morning?
I'm moving a little bit slower today, but I've got a Sam's Club run, mowing to do, and a pain management class, so I'm going to have a busy day.
Okay, and I think you're having the electrical stimulator, nerve stimulator removed today. Was that correct?
No, that was yesterday. They did a good job. They were able to get the leads out without breaking them, so I don't have any extra metal in me.
That's always good. That is always good. And you never know when you might need an MRI. Well, very good. Yeah, sounds like you have a very busy day ahead, and I hope that tractor is going to treat you right. Hopefully all the maintenance got done in time. And yeah, that's the one thing that when we have a dependence on tractor. When I lived up in the Northwest, up in Oregon, you had to get that tractor out there, and if it broke down, you just knew once it was back in service, you had hard work ahead of you.
Yeah, I did a little bit of work yesterday, and the grass is really tough this year. It got really a good growth this year. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for running the net there, Brian. Everyone have a good Wednesday. This is N6CKV Carl, St. 73 in Heidel Lynn.
And good morning to Ruth, and you have always great to hear you there, Carl. And it looks like Fireside Network is keying up again. So we want to keep Fireside East Coast Hub connected, but you guys gotta control yourselves. KE6 JEM. Good morning, John.
Morning. So I'm going to the gym right now, so it'd be a quick in and out. I wanted to really say thank you, Brian, for sending the QSO card for my first ever QSO after 55 years, which happened a week ago Monday. So I really appreciate that. I also did attend briefly the 6-year anniversary morning chat, and congratulations on 6 years of being on Coffee Break Net. That's great. And learned a little bit more about history, where you were the principal operator for quite a while before anybody else helped you out there. So it sounds like you've been really working hard a long time on behalf of the club. I was over at the ranch, family ranch, for the last few days. That's why I haven't shipped in. Waffles, my mother had a really great recipe that had cornmeal as part of the recipe, and it tastes absolutely wonderful. I make them, and my family just craves for them. And when I have extras left over, which doesn't happen every time, I toast them, and then I can reheat them in the toaster, and they're great. The cornmeal provides a little bit extra crunch, and it's just, they taste wonderful. Tractors, I was using my tractor, a couple tractors this last weekend, moving some big eucalyptus limbs and brush piles and stuff like that. I'm actually a member of an antique tractor club, and to be the editor for the club, and wrote articles for, actually published in a national magazine. So I've had some national exposure. Tractors are a lot of fun. Okay, I'm in and out. 73, Kilo Echo 6, Juliet Echo Mary.
Well, my great uncle had quite the antique tractor collection. He lived up in Blaine or Bellingham, Blaine, Washington area, and yeah, I remember going to a couple of shows with him and just seeing the incredible machines that people had lovingly restored, and yeah, very cool. Well, cornmeal in the waffle recipe. I kind of understand how that could work. Probably the cornmeal adds a little sweet to it, the batter, and yeah, the crunch is always a good thing if done correctly. So yeah, very cool. Thanks, John. And I'm glad you received that QSO card. First phone contact in 55 years. It was my privilege. Absolutely. Well, have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in, John.
Yeah, much appreciated. The cornmeal really adds to the flavor, but the waffle recipe in general was fantastic, and it's a family treat. I make it maybe every few months. When I run out of waffles in the freezer, I just make another batch, and when my son comes home, every once in a while, I make them special for him. So anyway, I'm going to head out. I'm heading over to the gym here, so checking in and out. 73, Kilo Echo 6, Juliet Echo Mary.
Well, if you feel so inclined, my email address is on QRZ, or I would love to check out that recipe. Absolutely. John, have a great day. KE6JEM AI6US 73. Good morning. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater and connected repeaters and nodes. Welcome to another Wednesday, Hump Day edition of the Coffee Break Net. Today we are celebrating Tolkien Reading Day. Maybe you're a Tolkien fan. Today is your day. Today is National Medal of Honor Day, where we honor the valor of the most courageous servicemen and women in the U.S. military. Today is Little Wagon Day, so expect to see Little Red Wagon rolling around the Hamfest this next Saturday, filled with coffee and donuts for those vendors who cannot leave the stall but would love to get a nice hot cup of coffee or a donut. Today is Bed In for Peace Day. Yeah, what better way to protest than to stay in bed? I guess it's different if you have the media and cameras aimed at you while you're in bed. Today is International Waffle Day, and that's why we're talking about waffles. Any of our friends over in Sweden listening this morning? Waffeldagen. 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 Maybe I'm saying that right or wrong. Hopefully I'm not swearing at you. But Waffeldagen is a waffle day that originated in Sweden and now is enjoyed worldwide. Thank you, Sweden. Good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. I'm Brian, AI6US, and let's go ahead and start taking regular check-ins now. If you are short on time and need to get in and out and on with life, but you want to stop by and say hello, let me know that you want to be a quick in and out, and I will put you at the top of the list. So let's go ahead and throw it out there. Who's wanting to check into the Coffee Break Net this morning?
Charlie 5 Lima Whiskey Yankee, in and out.
KM6LYW Marine Mobile.
KD6QZH, in and out.
Whiskey 2 Romeo Oscar November. Whiskey 2 No Radio Oscar November. Ron in Vermont.
Well, that was the biggest kerfuffle I have probably heard in my life, but this is who I heard. W2RON, good morning, Ron. And KD6QZH for in and out. I will put you at the top of the list there, Peter. N9MUF, good morning, Daniel. And Marine Mobile, we're going to have to figure out where. we better put Craig up at the top of the list before he's washed out to sea, KM6LYW. And then I heard a station ending in LYW. You came out at the end of the kerfuffle, and that's all I heard. Full call, please. LWY. Yes, sir. Sorry, LWY.
Kilo Charlie 5 Lima Whiskey Yankee. Kilo Charlie 5 Lima Whiskey Yankee.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's one heck of kerfuffle, but I got Kilo Charlie 5 Lima Whiskey Yankee. Thank you very much. And then other stations who were not LW were wanting to check in. Who did I miss?
N2 DYI.
Kilo Oscar 6 Indian Hotel Juliet.
Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Bravo Hotel, Mobile.
All right, I saw KC6SLE, good morning, Graydon, and KO6KBH, Mobile, and good morning to Larry, KO6IHJ, and good morning, Patrick, N2DYI. We're going to go with this list as it stands right now. We'll be back for additional check-ins in a little bit. So, KD6QZH, you were a quick in and out. Was anybody else on this list for a quick in and out?
Brian, KC6SLE, I'll be a quick in and out.
Okay, Graydon, KC6SLE will be in and out, and there was another station for in and out?
KO6IHJ.
All right, I have KO6IHJ. Larry is a quick in and out as well. So we have our first three quick in and outs, and then we'll take the list. Good morning, Peter, KD6QZH. What do you have for the net this morning?
Not much, just started the work day, so I'm going to pop in and pop out, but wanted to wish everyone a good morning. Hope you're well, and I was enjoying listening to the net. I'll pass it back, and I'll have more to say tomorrow. KD6QZH running into a meeting. 7-3, everybody.
All right, Peter. Work calls, we understand, and you have a wonderful day ahead. Clearing with KD6QZH, and good morning, Larry, KO6IHJ.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Coffee Break Net, KO6IHJ. You said waffles on this hump day? I got a waffle iron for you. I got one for sale. Tom left it here in the shack the last time when I fixed the cord.
Don't sell my roommate's waffle iron.
Okay, I want you to sell the roommate's waffle iron.
Yeah, especially if it's one of the good old waffle irons. People want to hang on to those forever. Well, good morning, Larry. Anything else for the net this morning other than advertising your waffle maker repair services?
I got a contact on 160 last night about midnight somewhere, and that was about it for my highlights. Other than that, just kicking back. We're going to do some little bit of ham radio work today. Videos we've posted, so everybody enjoy a day. Have a blessed day. Be safe. KO6ISJ. Thanks for running that, Brian. 7-3.
Okay, so is this must be one of your first contacts on 160, or was it your first contact on 160?
Yeah, you knew who my first contact on 160 is. It was you, Brian.
Well, I'm going to have to check my log. Okay, I am going on to PSK Reporter right now for the last 24 hours on 160 meters, and I'm going to see who heard you. Oh, not bad. Coverage across the U.S. and Canada. That's who reported you on PSK Reporter. So very good. Well, yeah, 160 is a fun band, and if you ever wake up early before dawn, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just hang around between there and dawn, and you will likely hear some Pacific Rim coming in. I think it's so cool when you can work DX on 160. Well, congrats. And yeah, I'm considered DX for you.
Roger that. Yeah, Mr. David R. Ritchie hasn't said he heard me, but I heard him.
Excellent. Well, you have a wonderful day there, Larry. Thanks for checking in this morning, advertising your waffle maker repair services. And congrats on the 160 contact. KO6IHJ, AI6US 73.
7-3.
Good morning, Graydon, KC6SLE. What do you have for the net this morning?
Good morning to the net. Good morning, Brian. Well, we finished up the I'm calling it the first round of weeds cleanup after about 6 days of just burning, clearing, slashing, weed whacking. But we got that done. My son has a good case of poison oak. I have a pretty good case of poison oak. Hopefully that will go away quickly. Interesting day yesterday because our first visit was from Bert and his dog walked down the driveway, and Bert is in charge of our Firewise community. So he came down to say thank you. It was nice that people are noticing. So Bert came down, said thank you. A little while later, our neighbor George came down and said thank you. And then Kay, who is to the east of us, we cleaned up part of her property along the fence line between our property and hers. She came over and said thank you, and then my neighbor Greg came over because he just got his letter yesterday from his insurance company saying he was no longer going to be insured by them. So he wanted to know how the state plan works and if I would give him some advice and help in cleaning up the property between he and I. So it was an interesting day yesterday, getting everything wrapped up, but it's nice that the neighbors notice things are getting cleaned up and we're appreciative.
But the big question is, did any of them bring you cookies?
No cookies. In fact, I was a little worried because Bert was carrying a little bag as he was out walking his dog, and I knew what was in the bag.
Oh my. All right. Well, sorry to hear that you and Grady got into that poison oak, and yeah, I have a spot on my leg that I got into poison oak several years ago, and boy, it just took forever to clear up and left a good scar. So it can get you good if you get a good splash of it. Well, good morning to you. Good morning to Grady. Good morning to Lisa. And yeah, you didn't mention Dan coming over to visit.
No, Dan's in the Bay Area helping his son with something right now. Dan's got some work to do. If you're out there listening, Dan, he knows it. Work to do on his property. But he's very appreciative of what we've done as well. And the other neighbor, Pete's a crack up because he told the guy that was doing his weed whacking the other day, he said, this is how much money I'm willing to spend on this. What can you do? So it's not all done. When you put limits on things like that, it's not all done. My son wanted to run down there and finish it up for him, and I said, you know, if we have time, if we have the energy, we'll do that. But, you know, each neighbor's got to take responsibility for their area.
You know, that's what makes the Fire Safe and those other programs work, is when you do have defendable spaces and they overlap with neighbors. Absolutely. Well, Graydon, I bet you're looking forward to the Ham Fest so you can get out of the weeds. You have a wonderful day. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, this weekend at the Ham Fest, and looking forward to seeing everybody. But yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for taking the lead and making Elmer's available for first-time visitors to a Ham Fest. You know, check out the Elmer walk around. A great opportunity to walk around with an experienced Elmer to talk about what are some of these items we see on people's tables for sale. The Elmers aren't there to help you negotiate a deal, but they're there to help explain what people are putting out there and is claiming is gold or platinum. Have a great day, Graydon.
You and everybody else, KC6, AllStarLink.
All right, clearing with Graydon. Let's head on up to the top now. KC5, LWY. Good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net.
Well, good morning, AI6US, Kilo Charlie Lima, Whiskey Yankee. Drinking some coffee, listening to the slow scan call frequency on 20 meters. Kilo Golf 5, Juliet is booming down here in the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico. I don't know where we are this year. I appreciate you, Brian. I appreciate everybody out there. Kilo Charlie 5, Lima Whiskey Yankee, down here waiting for the government shutdown to end. Thank you, sir.
Yes, indeed. Get the cosplay guys out of the airport and start paying those TSA people to get those lines going again. It's stupid crazy. On 20 meters, yeah, very active place to park. And you have a wonderful day there, Andrew. Thanks for checking in. KC5 LWY, Andrew. And let's check in now with Craig, a very similar call sign, KM6LYW. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, Brian in the net. Hey, I am here with W6EK, sitting on a top secret pond, dipping hooks and ripping lips.
Hey, good morning to you, and good morning to Dennis. A secret spot. Sounds like, are you only able to get there via canoe or kayak, or you were claiming marine mobile because your toes are in the water?
Yeah, that's affirmative. I can't stay on too long because, you know, you guys are going to triangulate my location. That time of year, so yeah, I think I pulled in 4 or 5, and I've been watching Dennis pull them in as well. So we're sitting on float tubes. You know, I guess our feet are in the water with flippers. It's not sexy, but boy, is it fun.
Well, thanks for the check-in. Yeah, I could tell you maybe floated away for a moment there. You kind of faded out for a second, your signals. Got to watch your fin placement. Well, have a wonderful day fishing, because you know what they say, a day of fishing is better than, well, most things, I understand.
Yeah, copy that. So yeah, I'm on a rubber duck here in the water, but yeah, I'm practicing being retired. It's going so far so good. I think we're getting it right. Dennis is way ahead of me, so I'm looking to him for inspiration. All right, we're back to fishing. KM6LYW Marine Mobile.
Okay, all the fox hunters out there, hopefully you got your triangulation on that fishing hole. Have a great day, Craig, and enjoy the fishing. KM6LYW, Marine Mobile, and a floaty today. Let's head on down, head out east. Good morning, Ron, back in Massachusetts, W2RON. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Whiskey 2, Romeo Oscar November, W2RON, and we're in Vermont. You were very close, very close. We're in Vermont, and gee whiz, we listen to I wish I could get out and go fishing, but I don't go anywhere anymore. I'm just too old. But I used to love to go fishing. We got no problem, I wouldn't be stealing his spots because I got plenty of my own. And somebody talked about going out and doing some mowing. We've still got the snow shovel going here. So it's a while yet before we do anybody does our lawns. And waffles. Oh, we like waffles, but we don't have a waffle maker. So I'm embarrassed to say we used Lego My Egos. Those little ones you buy in the store and the frozen, you put them in the fridge. Well, you put the Vermont maple syrup on them and a little butter, and they taste just as good as anything else. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, very good. Thank you very much for picking us up. It's great to hear the net and be a part of it. And we look forward to listening again and again and again. So thanks a lot, Brian. What was it? AI1 US? This is Whiskey 2, Romeo Oscar November, Ron in Vermont. Over.
All right, Ron. Well, good morning to you. Yes, the call here is Alpha India 6, Uniform Sierra AI 6 US. And yes, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's awesome to have waffles, even if they're Eggos, and it's all about the real butter and the good real syrup. And I know you have plenty of it back there. I wish we had syrup harvesting out this way, but yeah, that's the specialty that the Northeast gets to have. Sorry about the mistake for moving you to Massachusetts. I will try to remember in the future that Vermont. And I've often looked at some of those properties for sale back in Vermont on one of the many, many lakes that you have back there, and have often thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a vacation place back in Vermont at one of those remote locations, and then the reality of the black flies in the middle of summer comes to mind. Ron, have a great day. Thanks for checking in. W2RON, AI 6 US for the Coffee Break Net, 7-3.
All right. We thank you once again for taking our call. And what were they going I forgot. But maple syrup, yeah. I don't know. I lost it. Sorry about that. We'll try to take a note of it and bring it up the next time. Thanks an awful lot. And I think I had your call incorrect. I don't know what I said, but it was AI. Now I know it's AI 6 US. This is W2RON, Ron in Milton, Vermont, 73, and thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, and I just noticed a message popped up on the screen here that from KG6 in LW. Frank was asking if you had gotten a document that he had sent your way.
I don't believe so. I don't know. I haven't really. When was this? I haven't checked my mail in a while. I'll have to see. I don't. Well, what was the call over?
I think you were having some issues, and Frank, KG6NLW, had offered to give you some assistance, and I think he had sent you a document about your setup there. So I think that's what it was about. So better check your email, because I remember you had a big tirade about people not responding to you. Somebody responded to you. Check your email. Have a great day, Ron.
Comment.
Go ahead, Frank.
Good morning. I'm in the yard office, so I can't talk long. But, yeah, Ron, I sent you an email with a document describing the digital stuff for you. Sent it last week when we were communicating or something like that. Anyway, there you go. KG6NLW, good morning, and consider this my out, Brian, please.
All right, very good. Thank you, Frank, for the clarification there for Ron. And yeah, Ron, so there you go. Some help was sent your way by Frank, and hopefully those documents help you on your radio exploration there. So W2RON, check your email. You have a great day. And I guess Ron is clear. Hopefully you got that communication. Hey, good morning. Let's check in with Daniel, N9 MUF. Good morning, Daniel. Happy Hump Day.
Morning, Brian in the net. Well, my hump day is Thursday, but it's still a wonderful day here. The sun is trying to shine. I'm awake. I've got coffee. I'm not sure it could get better than that. Okay, more coffee would be better.
I don't know. From the sounds of things, you need a waffle to have a perfect breakfast or morning.
I love waffles. In fact, one of the things that I used to do in junior high and high school is I'd make waffles for the family on Saturday morning, but also for anybody else that showed up for breakfast from the community. So we generally, I'd fix breakfast for about 16 people every Saturday morning.
Quite a commitment. Quite the commitment. So the mention was made earlier that somebody was not aware of malted flour in waffles. What type of waffles? What's your recipe?
I cannot remember what it was. I mean, it was a few years ago. I could definitely see the use of malted flour. I think what I would like is a little bit of that, and then a combination of a multigrain, a light multigrain, maybe 20%, just to get some texture. I understand that you got turned off on that, but I think if it was used in the right amount, it could really add to it.
Yeah, no, anything, and that's kind of fascinating thing about putting a little bit of cornmeal in there. It's a sweetener and a little bit of texture to it as well. But no, it was one of those things where my mom wanted to make the waffles healthy. Once she had tried feeding us wheat waffles, and yeah, that was a bit too much for any kid to endure. We're talking about, it's all about the toppings of real butter and real syrup, and that didn't even drown that fact out. But she tried. She tried. Well, good morning, Daniel. What do you have going on today?
The conversation about hump reminded me that it's a VAR AC Wednesday, so I'm going to switch over to that, get my email sent out, and throw my station open for several hours. I just missed my CW contact in the morning, so I'll have to jump on it this afternoon. Again, one of those amazing things, how the band dies out right at the end of an event. I don't understand that.
Yes. Is it because all the RF energy MR transmissions do something magical with the ionosphere, or people just get on the radio? No, I was just looking at my live spots from last evening, and I was looking at PSK Reporter, and I was only on 20 yesterday afternoon and evening, and good coast to coast, CONUS, Central Europe, South America, New Zealand, Japan. 20 meters was pretty good condition. But it's just looking right now. We are a sea level on the X-ray, and a slight bump on the sunspot, but KP 5.3. So not ideal, but the bands are there.
They're there. You've just got to remember that sometimes you're the one that has to call CQ. Let's see, what else do I have going on today? I need to get a technical assessment done for a job that I applied for. They were very gracious when I pointed out that given the fact that my monitor died, functionally really no computer, so they gave me an extension, and I'm trying to get that wrapped up. And just breathe. Trying to make a point of breathing and trying to be gracious to myself. That's not something I grew up being good at, and that's something on my list of things to do today.
Yep, you probably come from the old school of toughen up, buckle down, get her done, shut up, and raise the kids and get your gold watch, right? I think a lot of us came from that era.
Lutheran Norwegian farm kids, so much that. And then unfortunately throw a little bit of James Dobson and Bill Gothard in there, and it got a little messy at points.
My, that would have been one interesting Thanksgiving table to sit at. Hopefully you ate food and didn't throw it.
No, I definitely enjoyed the food at Thanksgiving, but they were interesting, that's for sure. So, today, just breathing. I'll wrap up the POTA gear. The radio's all charged and ready to go, and I think I've got about 3 pounds I've managed to remove from the kit. Trying to lighten it up in anticipation of riding with it, and since one of my favorite bikes doesn't have saddlebags on it yet, I'm trying to get it rideable. That's honestly VAR AC Wednesday, hopefully some CW this afternoon as well, technical assessment, and remembering to breathe today. Wagons, Little Red Wagon Day. I do have a story about that. We had decided that it was time for a wagon for my son, and we took him to Toys R Us, and he fell in love with the wagon, and it was very definitely within our price range. And, of course, you took the tag up and paid for it up there, and we started moving forward, and he looked at the wagon, because he understood that we were going to get it for him. And, no, Gabriel, it's okay. We'll get the wagon for you. We've just got to go up and pay for it first. So we move a few more paces. He looks up at us, wagon? No, we explain it again. Then we move about 5 more paces, and he just breaks down into heartbreak. Wagon! And finally, we managed to convince him that, no, he was going to get a wagon, just not that wagon. It's the only time I've seen him do anything like that, but he was absolutely attached to that wagon, and we still use it from time to time.
Yes. Mom and Dad need to go pay for the wagon, and then Dad gets to spend the next 6 hours assembling your wagon. It will never look like the display, but No, I've assembled a few little red wagons myself, and I don't know how they're built nowadays, but my gosh, they were built to last, and many of those, they may have sat out a few too many times and gotten rusted. But you throw a little grease on those axles, and they are good for another generation.
They absolutely are, and it's still a very solid wagon. And we were talking about, as he kind of aged out a little bit, we just said there are 2 things we can't get rid of: a tricycle that my father got for him about a year before he passed. and then his wagon. He'd put his Basset in the wagon and take him around the neighborhood.
Great memories. Absolutely great memories. Yeah, I think I totaled my wagon. But you totaled a wagon. It was one of those daring things with the kids at the top of the hill, and you climb into that wagon, and they give you a shove, and you try to survive to the bottom of the hill. And the wagon, as I recall, the front wheels folded under as I launched overhead, but those wheels made it onto a go-kart eventually. The totality of the wagon did not exist, but parts lived on.
That makes absolute perfect sense. And, good grief. For all talking about the wagon, I can't remember the name of the manufacturer of our wagon, but it was, that universal company that you always associate with Red Wagon, Ryder. I believe it was. And like I said, we still got it. We just can't bring ourselves to part with it. Well, I know you've got a bit of a list there, so I should say 7-3, Brian. Good to talk with you in the net, and 9MUF.
All right, Daniel. You have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in this morning, and enjoy VAR AC Wednesday. Anybody who wants to join in on that, that is a check-in net using the email forward function of VAR AC. So VAR AC, there are versions out there. You don't buy the VAR license. You can use the free version of it. It just doesn't have the higher speeds of data transmission. But if you want to check out VAR and VAR AC, a great communication tool, especially for e-com communications, and a great way to add the ability to do email, quick email. Very similar to WinLink in many ways, but much more versatile because it does add a messaging and real-time keyboard interaction as well. So check it out, VARA and VAR AC. Daniel, have a great day. Did I hit the big points on that one?
No, it's just, you got everything. It's easy, it's straightforward, and there's a good community able to help people out. And I'm good on QRZ, so if you've got questions about it, feel free to hit me up. MUF.
Thanks, Daniel. Happy Wednesday to you. In 9, MUF, AI6US. Hey, good morning, Patrick. Yeah, it is still morning. Back where you are, into DYI. Good morning. Let's rack that one up as a first. To DYI. Are you still there, Patrick?
Yep, I am still here. Right when you called me the first time, there was a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it's probably best if I didn't key up. Good morning.
All right. Well, I hope everything swirled down the porcelain well, and welcome. Good morning.
It wasn't that. But if it were, I wouldn't tell you anyway. Yeah, everything's doing all right here. Just woke up about an hour ago. I'm sort of in that stage where getting up around net time or just a little before or a little after is kind of standard right now. Sure, in about a week we'll get to the point where I will be in danger of missing the net. And then I have to start setting alarms and stuff. But I'm not there yet, so that's just what happens when the circadian rhythm is not lining up with the rest of the world, which is the case now. But anyway, yeah, pretty reasonable day here. We're going to be around 64 for the high, and then it's going to warm up for the rest of the week until Saturday, Sunday it'll get cooler again, and then we'll be back to higher than normal temperatures next week. I guess a lot of the country is going to get that.
Just a reminder of where Patrick is right now, down in North Carolina. So, the country certainly is going through the circadian rhythm of the messed up as well. Well, good morning to you there, Patrick. Glad you could wake up to be with us. I'm assuming you've woke up, but glad you're with us today. Anything for the net this morning? What do you have going on? Any special projects? I know you pull out some of your recording gear and some of your instruments and stuff and spread out a little bit more when you're down in the Carolinas.
Well, the thing that I'm kind of messing with right now is one of the modules that was added to this project for the Ableton Move is called Neural Amp Modeler, which is a machine learning based thing where people can take captures of signal paths from mostly guitar amplifiers, but people are also using this for things like amp cabinets and consoles and things that have unique sonic signatures. And they are captured in these profiles, and you can run them through part of your effects sheet. So I'm kind of messing around with that. And in that vein, I'm kind of looking around for a small preamp, like a battery-powered preamp, guitar preamp that takes an instrument input, drives it up to line level, and doesn't really add a lot of characteristic to the sound as it comes in. I'm just looking for something I can plug into this thing, which has a line input that I can use basically to drive these models and not add a lot of extra complication to it since it doesn't have an instrument input.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around with what you just said. It sounds like these are plugins that emulate different existing structures, like the sound reproduction that might be affected by a certain type of hardware.
Yeah, so basically it's a plug-in, and what this thing does is it allows you to make a full profile of any existing gear that you have. So like you can take microphones and do very specific types of sweeps and white noise bursts and things like that to capture like the profile of the distortion and saturation characteristics, how the microphones you're using respond to cabinets, and you can save that as a profile and load it up in this plugin and essentially recreate based on it takes a while to build files out, and then you can reverse that process and essentially take a snapshot of a stack like that and then throw it inside this plugin and feed it something, and it does a pretty reasonable job of emulating that sound, whatever that sound is that you're looking for.
Okay, I am going back to the old school days of automated consoles when you would have setup sheets. So if you had a follow-up session and you wanted to replicate the sound of a previous session, the sound engineer would pull out his settings sheet, and you better not touch that board after he gets everything set back up. So this is now just a plug-in profile. Am I hitting that one?
Yeah, I've done a lot of that myself. Of course, these days when you're dealing with boards, a lot of them have flying faders, and you can just recall the scene and all your dynamics and sliders and EQ settings just pop conveniently back into existence. I had the last sort of large format console I had was one of the annoying ones. It was digital. It had snapshots like that, but it didn't have motorized faders. So you could reload the snapshot and you could get all your settings back, but the faders didn't follow where the channel strips were. The only way you could know where they were was by looking at the lights for each of the channels, which didn't really do me any good. So you would knock one of them and the whole thing would kind of not be anywhere close to where you thought it was.
Very interesting. Yeah, back my first time I ever was interacting with servo boards and such was we were building a studio. I had moved from Florida up to Portland, Oregon, and didn't realize how difficult it would be to re-embed myself into a production community. So I was wearing many hats. One of the hats I wore at the time was helping build sound studios, and one of them was called the PACE Project, P-A-C-E, PACE, and we built out incredible rooms for sound and video production. And I just remember seeing that first automated board and just the amazement of watching those sliders work. And I'd never seen a board so big in my life. And of course, I was concentrating on how the room was built and making sure that it was following the engineering specs for mechanical sound manipulation. And I'm just fascinated by the technology. And to think now that is, kind of like talking about the Model T.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is still, in use as far as the way automation works. But a lot of it these days has gone to the point where your boards don't have physical controls on them. Or if they do, it's a lot of touch screen, and you're, especially for live venues, you'll see a lot of things where, you'll have guys running around with iPads doing the entire mix somewhere else with, an in-ear monitor set for reference, and then you're controlling the board. I've seen a lot of venues like that. But yeah, the thing that I thought was kind of funny, I forget which console it was. One of the very earliest ones that had flying faders on it. I want to say it was an SSL console. I remember reading about this article maybe 10 years ago. One of the engineers who built one of these early consoles was a little bit bored getting everything right, so he actually created a program that would move these were very large format consoles, 96 channels or something like that, with these big faders, and so he created a specific program to have it play ping pong, and apparently that worked to a reasonable degree.
How interesting. Yeah, I just for giggles, I looked up PACE video and PACE audio services, and I see they are still around. Unbelievable. Yeah, it was one of those boards like you're talking about, just incredible. I forget how many channel board it was, and just to watch that thing work, and to think that it is now down to that level of, controlling live events with multiple boards on a single iPad or such. It's incredible. But I think, really what's happened is these big mechanical mixer boards have been brought down so, you can have it on your computer, and your mixing console is a widescreen monitor, and your desk at home. Pretty phenomenal.
Yep. Yeah, it's you put the core of these things in rack modules, and they have these stage boxes that connect over Ethernet using Dante or other protocols, and you can add, a ridiculous amount of channels to something that's, that can fit in a couple of rack space. And yeah, it's incredible. Not so great for accessibility in a lot of cases for folks like us trying to use it, but as far as the technology goes, it's pretty interesting. But the thing that really gets me, that I thought was kind of cool in theory, again, this is one of those, it's cool in theory, like if you're a band and you're doing a bunch of live stuff, you're doing your own mixes, and you can set up profiles on some of these boards where everybody in the band gets their own mix, and they can do whatever they want to that mix. If you want more me, you can have your more me, and you don't mess with anybody else front of house. Everybody gets a send for their floor their floor wedges or their in-ear monitors, and there's a phone app. You can take your phone out of your pocket, set your mix the way you want, save it as a preset, and you get your own personal mix that you can set. It can be the worst mix ever, but if it works for you, then you can do that, and it doesn't mess anybody else up.
Amazing times. Absolutely amazing times. Well, Patrick, thanks for checking in. And once again, that Ableton Neural project sounds very interesting. And to, just to hear the AI integration into so many things, I think the mention was made, AI, if used in the right professional's hands, can be a great enhancement tool. Well, Patrick, good day to you. Happy Wednesday, and thanks for hanging around with us this morning.
Yep, that's based on the thing called Neural Amp Modeler, which I believe is open source. I might be wrong about that, but it's certainly available in a lot of different platforms, and people have been using it for a while. It's not that there are, and there have been some reasonably high-end digital modeling systems that have been around for quite a while that have done similar things, but this just kind of shrinks that into this tiny little package that anybody can use, and it's kind of neat to play with. Anyway, Brian, I'll say 7-3. Let you get on with the rest of the net. Everyone have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. I'll catch you later. AI6US and 2DYI.
Comment?
All right, Patrick, you have a great Wednesday. Thanks for checking in. Into DYI, AI6US Coffee Break Net. Good morning, Tim, KO6KBH. I just realized now you had indicated you were mobile. Hopefully you didn't drive out of range there. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning, Brian and the net. I did hear a comment in there. I'm not sure we want to jump to that, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just listening to the Coffee Net, sitting in the parking lot outside of work. Let's see if we can get that comment.
Oh, I hope I didn't make you late to work waiting for us. Did we have a comment out there?
Hi, yeah, Brian. This is AK6SQ. This comment is for N2DYI. Patrick, I didn't know if you had heard about Synergy amps, but if you're looking for some sort of modular preamp, amplifier, post-amplifier systems, these things have been pretty cool. Basically, a rig that you can trade your power amp or your preamp in and out, and it's all hardware. It's not any sort of DSP or anything like that. So look into that, the Synergy amp system. That's all for me, AK6SQ out.
Over to you, Patrick.
Yeah, I have heard of it, but that's as far as I know the name and the concept, but I've never messed with any of that gear. That's certainly one of the things I'm looking at. Thanks. Into DYI.
All right, and Jeff, for the rest of us, what is the Synergy amp systems? I know we all have Google. 10 words or less, 10,000 foot. What is Synergy amp system?
So we all know the image of amplifiers on a stage, plugging guitars into, and the different unique sounds that they all possess. Well, they're different unique sounds based on their components and circuitry, things like that. Imagine an amplifier that you could pull out and replace the different type of component structure and circuit board so that it sounded different. Basically, you can buy modules, hardware modules, for around $400, and then you've got the actual carrier rig that you can replace, and basically you can buy these things to make them unique and have all different kinds of amps and trade them out as you like.
Very, very cool. What an interesting concept to be able to adapt the sound and operational characteristics on a single platform with modules. Hey, thanks. Appreciate the description, Jeff.
Amen.
One more comment before we get back to Tim and allow him to go to work. Go ahead, Brett.
W6UV here. Yep, thank you, and I'll make it quick. Boy, those Synergy amps look beautiful, but for some base price of $1,600, I'll stick with my Positive Grid DSP iPad-driven amplifiers. KB6UV, clear. Listening.
But imagine if you had a storage area filled with amps that you were wanting to have available for different sounds for different venues, for different effects. Yeah, yeah. I guess it wouldn't have much of effect if you already downsized to a laptop. Hey, Tim, let's get you to work. KO6 KBH, thanks for hanging around. What do you have for us this morning?
Hey, Brian, I'm doing well. Far be it from me to, stop a good geek out session. I love talking about technology and different things like that. Speaking of, I got out to hang out with our good friend Simone K6DXN and Jimmy N6FMD to pick up what Simone is calling a gremlin, basically a quick 10-ounce 3D printed by his buddy. I forget his name, but anyway, it was really cool to meet Simone face to face. But yeah, I'm really excited to cut some wire and get this antenna up in the air, see what I can do with it. So, Simone, if you're listening, I appreciate you, my friend, and it was great to meet you face to face. Other than that, I'm going to be a quick in and out. I am sitting in the parking lot, not feeling like I need to rush in or anything. So it's been great listening to the Coffee Break Net. Back to you, Brian.
Well, the question is, did you hang out in their natural habitat of POTA somewhere?
The backyard of Simone's house. I was pretty tight on time, but they were sticking a chameleon up in the air and trying to get it resonant on several different meters for Simone's purposes. But it was really great to hang out with them. I was probably there for half an hour, and oh man, we talked about everything under the sun and probably could have elaborated on a lot more. It was a lot of fun to hang out, and I look forward to doing it again. So hopefully I get to go hang out with those gentlemen. And if you guys are not familiar with them, go check them out on Parks in the Dark on YouTube, and you'll see them there. They're a kooky bunch, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to hang out with Cam, do some geeking out face to face, other than on the airwaves. So yeah. Anyway, back to you.
Certainly, Jimmy, I think, is probably one of the more prolific POTA activators that I know. And, of course, Simone and Jimmy team up quite a bit. Yeah, Parks in the Dark on YouTube. They post up a lot of their little trips, their trips to the park and their activations. Well, Tim, you have a wonderful day. Happy hump day to you. And thanks for hanging out and not rushing into work. KO6 KBH, AI6US, maybe we'll see you at Hamfest. 7-3.
7-3, Brian. I'm going to try my best to get to Hamfest. You have a great day. Thanks again.
All right, definitely stop by. I'm going to be working at the drawing table, helping head that one up. And so, yeah, drop by and introduce yourself. Have a great day, Tim. Good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. This evening will be the In the Shack. So if you want to drop by and see what other people are doing in the shack, sharing projects they're working on, maybe some diagrams, maybe some tours of a shack, drop on by this evening. In the Shack. That's on the Zoom room. So how do you find this magical shack in the Zoom room? Head on over to the club website at W6EK.org. That's whiskey 6 Echo Kilo.org, and click on Join Zoom Meeting. That's this evening, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. It lasts usually about an hour and a half or so. And drop on in. Maybe you just drop in to see what others are up to, or maybe you share a project that you're working on in the shack. It's second and fourth Wednesdays of the month in the Zoom room. Neat thing about this virtual shack is that a lot of people can crowd into the shack, whereas in my shack I probably only could get 5 or 6 other people in here, and they'd be uncomfortable. Good morning, Coffee Break Net. Let's go ahead and see who is out there this morning that would like to check in.
Kilo Golf 9, Mike.
K6DCL.
Kilo November 6, Whiskey, Quebec Uniform K in 6WQ. Good morning, Brian.
KO6TH, good morning.
Four Gold 8, Whiskey, Victor.
Well, that was a kerfuffle. I'll tell you who I heard. KB6ED, good morning, Ed. KO6TH, good morning to Greg. KN6WQU, good morning, Dan. K6DCL, good morning, Dave. And KG9M, good morning to Frank. Other stations came in there, but man, you were stacked up on each other, and somebody has a hell of a lot. I said that. A hell of a lot of interference. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone but you. Good morning. Who did I miss?
N5TIN.
K4 Lima Theta.
Kilo 6 November Uniform Foxtrot.
W2RON, I have to make a comment on what somebody sent me some emails, so just put me in there just for a moment. It's W2RON.
Okay, 2RON for a recheck. KN6NUF. Good morning there, Joshua. K4LGI. Good morning to Sam in Denver. N5TIN out of Texas. Good morning, Steve. KB6. Oh, I got you already there, Ed. All right. Let's see. Anybody in this list for a quick in and out other than W2RON with a recheck?
5TIN, I'll be in and out.
No, Sam.
KB6ED in and out.
All right, so I recognize for in and out KB6ED, N5TIN, K4LGI, and W2RON. Was there anybody else for just a quick in and out in that list?
WQU.
All right, Dan. Got you, KN6WQU as in and out as well. Let's take Ron's recheck, and then we'll do our in and outs, and then go through the regular check-ins. W2RON, go ahead with your recheck.
Okay, thank you very much. I feel very bad. You know, somebody sent me an email with information that I was wanting. I don't remember asking for any information, but I'm sure I might have, but it's been a while, at least a week, I guess, since that happened, and I did not receive, and if I did, I didn't see it, an email with information regarding the thing I was questioning. So I didn't mean to ignore somebody's effort to help me out, but I don't recall getting any documents on any of the questions I may have had. So I didn't want to ignore that. I was looking through my emails when you were ready to move on, and I didn't get back to you quick enough. But I don't see any emails. I look at my spam folder and everything on information that I was eager to get. So back to you, W2RO.
Okay, well, very good. Yeah, I guess Frank, KG9M, called you last week on the phone and spent some time with you trying to help you out with your questions about digital modes and such. And then the other Frank, KG6NLW, was the one that emailed you. So anyway, if they're monitoring now, maybe they can maybe Ron, Frank, KG6NLW can reach out to you again. So, all right, Ron, very good. And you have a great rest of the day.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. And I really didn't want to ignore anybody that's trying to be helpful. But anyway, thank you very much. W2RON, Ron in Vermont. We'll be listening out. Thank you.
All right, very good, Ron. Clearing with W2RON. Let's visit now with our in and outs and get them on their way to be productive with their day, or maybe start drinking. Just kidding. I know some of these folks on this list do not drink. Bad joke. Sorry. KN6WQU. Did that transmission, or did you need a new transmission? We are waiting on grease and oil puddles to hear more.
Good morning, Brian Internet. This is KN6WQU. Let's see. Well, you know, it just as I thought, you know, the input speech sensor was indeed cracked internally. So when I took the screw out to pull the sensor out to replace it with a new one, it was indeed at the seal. So I put the new one in and it drove just fine. So I called the client, told him to come pick it up and get the hell out of my house. So there's that. And then, you know, I think that whole transmission job just costed me a lot of sleep time and stuff. So, you know, I didn't get home late until Monday night. So Tuesday morning I had to get up early, take Dane to school, and then I was pretty much up the whole morning at that way. So last night I was asleep a little early, around 7 o'clock, 7:30, and then Heather let me sleep in until like 8 or 8:30. She had to take off early, so she took Dane to school for me. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, everything's happy and on its way on my end. I want to go figure out some gremlins from on a evap system on a Toyota Sienna right now over in Carmichael. But yep, everything's good. Thanks for asking. This is KN6WQ.
Well, it sounds like something finally worked out for you on that. As we left you yesterday, you were thinking you might have even got a bad transmission, so glad to hear that was not the case. Well, Dan, good morning to you. Boy, with that much beauty sleep, you must be gorgeous today.
I don't know about that, but I'm working on it. Thanks, Brian, for running that. This is KN6WQ.
Dan, you have a great day. Clear as KN6WQU. Next up on the in and out list, Ed, KB6ED. How was your breakfast? Songs, waffles?
It was delish. Good morning, Brian and Minette. Yeah, yummy breakfast. Same as my dad, didn't realize it was waffle day. I probably wouldn't have had one anyway. They don't have buckwheat waffles, and that's my favorite. I got to put my vote in for buckwheat waffles. And I like a little bit of peanut butter. I like the butter. Got to have some butter, and add a little bit of peanut butter, and then a good amount of pure maple syrup. I'll go with that. And malt. I love malt. So I don't know that I've ever had malt waffles, though. And maybe that could be combined with buckwheat. That could be pretty good. But I did get some malt syrup just recently. My sister talking about sorghum in her caramels, and I decided, well, I'd like to try some sorghum. So I like to add some of those things to give some variety to my coffee in the morning, and so tried a little sorghum. That's a tasty coffee additive, and I tried some malt, which is tasty in my coffee. So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I really wanted to have a Suno conversation the other day. I think it happened on Monday, and I just couldn't get in, and I'm not going to dive into that now because I'm quick in and out, but maybe I can jump in and give my 20 cents worth next week. Back to you, Brian.
Yeah, our conversation about Suno and AI in the music industry. I had asked a question Is it a tool to enhance a professional, or is it the dumbing down of the music industry? Well, I didn't use those words exactly, but yeah, be interested to talk more. So you're welcome to bring that up in any of our net conversations. Would be interested to hear your impression of AI's entry into music assistance or creation. Yes, no, I totally. I fell in love with malted beer when I was in Germany. And in the U.S., a couple people do it okay, but man, I had some delicious malted beer that I could have probably poured over the top of waffles and enjoyed it. Hey, good morning to you, Dave. Excuse me. Sorry, I called you Dave. Good morning. Good morning, Ed. You have a wonderful day ahead.
You too, Brian. I'll just quickly say that, and I do want to get into depth in another conversation, but Suno has a lot of options, parameters that aren't apparent, even just things that you can pop into the different areas for prompting and tweaking and all that. But so it's not just a matter of throwing a prompt at it and it kicks out a song. I mean, you can do that. But anyway, another conversation is my quick in and out. KB6ED 73.
All right, Ed. Well, drop on in with more conversations about Suno, because according to some people, it is the end of creativity, and other folks go, man, it's something that just gives me fresh ideas that then I create from. So be interested to hear your take on it. Clearing with KB6ED. He has a full stomach, and I forgot to respond. Buckwheat waffles. I've had those before. They are very good. They're different, and can be enjoyable. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll share a buckwheat waffle with you sometime. N5 TIN. Good morning, Steve.
I6US. Good morning, and to the rest of the group, good morning as well. Been reading the mail here this morning, and have a few comments on a few of the things I've heard mentioned. Malt, for example, is a process really more than a specific thing. You can malt almost any cereal grain, and basically malting is just letting the grain sprout, and then drying it, roasting it, and that sprouting action brings out that sweetness. Most of the time, I think malting is done with barley. I actually have a jar of malt powder in my kitchen that I got at the grocery store, and every so often I buy a small, like a pint bottle of chocolate milk, and I put some of that malt powder in the bottle and shake it up real good, and man, that sure is good.
I'm surprised when the mention of malt was made today that Graydon KC6SLE is a malt enthusiast when it comes to milkshakes and malts. And, every once in a while, when I grab a milkshake, I will grab a malt instead. There is definitely something very unique and interesting about the taste. On top of sprouting, there is a little fermentation that brings out the sugars.
Yes, indeed. You have to let it sit after it sprouts for just a bit. But, yeah, my mom turned me on to malt when I was a little kid. And thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. It's a shame it's how uncommon it is to go into a place and see that they have a milkshake but don't make malts. That's kind of sad for me. But so two other things. It was Red Wagon Day. I actually still have the Red Wagon that I had when I was a kid. In fact, it's sitting just outside the workshop here, and it's pretty old. I've been around 70 times, if that gives you any idea how old it is. It's a little beat up, and somebody said something about riding down a hill, and I did that a lot when I was a kid. It's a miracle I didn't kill myself. But, I'm still here. So, and last thing, I heard Patrick talking about, and you having the audio discussion, I tried to make a comment but couldn't get through. I believe the first flying fader board that was commercially available was a Neve, And I had the pleasure of running Neve and an SSL board at one time in my past life, and I got to sit in a session for an Austin City Limits recording and watch the guys run the 24-track Neve. That was back in 1977.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the production teams, and especially remote recording, definitely, that was an incredible tool. Very cool. Learned something new about you. You're an audio engineer background. Very cool. Yeah, my first flying fader experience was, I think it probably would have been late 80s, probably 87, 88, in a studio setting up in Portland, Oregon. I had no idea things like that existed, because when I worked on production trucks, there was just an engineer with long fingers who looked like he was destined to play the piano at one point and decided to be an audio engineer instead.
Well, I'm not sure I'd qualify myself as an audio engineer, but I had a good time. And I too saw a little demo. There was my phone. I too saw a demo of a flying fader system where the engineer had actually programmed the motion of the faders to simulate a sine wave going up and down the board. I thought that was pretty fun. And one other note on that, and then I'll get off and let some other folks get in. I was reading our local paper some years back and saw an obituary for Rupert Neve, and I was not aware that he lived in the same little town as me. I wish I had known. I would have knocked on his door.
I've also been surprised at many times in life that people that have been so influential in different industries and different things, were our neighbors. I have been surprised a couple of times in my life as well. Yeah, that would have been a fun person to sit down with to find out what was behind some of those early inventions. Well, Steve, good day to you. And we'll have to sit down and share a malted something someday. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Hey, Brian. Well, we're planning a trip out that way, so who knows? Maybe it'll work out. But with that, I'll say 7 threes and wish everyone a good day and let you get on with the list. AI6US, N5TIN, 73 to everybody.
All right, Steve, 7-3 to you, and thanks for dropping by this morning to the Coffee Break Net. Clearing with N5TIN. Good morning, Sam. K4 LGI. How is everything? Is it winter or summer in Denver?
Well, good morning, Brian, everybody. Annette, I thought I had a time so I wouldn't be caught, on this public transit, all the noise. It's supposed to peak up to about 70-some, low 70s. And yes, it's heading up to Rocky Mountain National Park, and I was trying to avoid liquids, and my throat dried out, so I apologize for such a difficult voice to hear, understand perhaps. That Sable Island thing did one about 3 years ago, and one of the main participants was a guy that ran a tower company. His father was chief engineer at the TV station and went to school with my brother, and apparently they took the test at the same time and had similar calls coming out of it back here, etc. My brother just turned 100 years old plus, so it's a small world, and I think they're trying to get credit provincially for a separate country. I was just checking into them again. It's probably the same group. Have a nice day, K4LGI.
All right. Yes, indeed. Good to see. I mean, the Sable crew, well executed event this time. I just wish they had better propagation. That's the one thing that will probably hurt them in their operation, is that propagation just really hasn't been in the favor for their time frame for this. But Sam, have a wonderful day. Always a pleasure to have you drop by. Happy Wednesday to you. I'll catch you next week. K4LGI, AI6US 73. And up next is Frank, KG9M. Good morning, Frank. Boy, something big. Boy, what is it? Something's happening this Saturday. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Yes, good morning, Brian. Everyone on the net, Frank Kilo Golf 9 Mike here. Yes, just a few minutes ago, I was looking at my countdown timer for Saturday, and it showed that we were 2 days, 20 hours, and 22 minutes away from Hampus. I just happened to glance at it when it said that. So that might be the event that you're talking about.
It certainly is. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you heard me earlier, I got up this morning, and it was, about 6 o'clock. I thought, my, it is so dark out. I don't remember it being this dark at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's a great. Just providing. But, I've learned that if people don't know what the plan is, that's no good. As you mentioned, there is certain equipment to bring. I have seen some of the team leads reach out to their teams, so check your emails. And also, we will have an on-site meeting tomorrow at the Loomis Train Depot at 5:30 p.m. for all the volunteers and team leads to walk through the event so that there's no questions. And I can talk about more of that in a second.
And to tie into the rest of the conversations today, we are meeting at the historic Loomis train station, and right in front of that are some of the best malted shakes in the region. Yes, indeed. So I think after that meeting, a few of us will go over there and indulge. Back over to you there, Frank.
Yeah, they've got great shakes and they've got great malts. Taylor's is fantastic. One of the local businesses that you can after the event. But during the event, we're going to have donuts and coffee, and the volunteers will get a donut and coffee as part of the deal. So. The latest information on the Hamfest is at hamfest.w6ek.org, hamfest.w6ek.org. You can see the prizes that we've got, and we've added a few, adding prizes to the list. The latest was a $50 gift certificate from ABR Industries, and they make coaxial cable assemblies and braids and whatnot made in the U.S., so we appreciate their sponsorship. And new this year, Brian, I'm wondering if you're going to be bidding on it, is the Mystery Box Silent Auction that's going to benefit the Scholarship Fund. You going to bid on that?
I know you want me to say yes, but I probably won't. I'm very selective at Hamfest. I think it's an awesome idea. This box is going to be locked, and it's going to be a silent bid, and inside of it are supposed to be some pretty nice items. So it's going to be interesting to see. I support this club in so many other ways. I just don't need a box of unknown.
That's totally understandable. You've got a lot of gear, but for those that don't, I think there's going to be some pretty good items that are going to be in this box. And you get not only the equipment inside, but you get the box. And again, it's a good cause for the scholarship fund. But I'll close it out just by saying the event's coming up here on Saturday. We still do need a few more volunteers for some of the teams. Volunteers show up at 5, although a few will show up a little earlier. team leads will convey that to folks. Sellers show up at 6 in the morning, and then buyers show up at 7. Last time I checked the weather, it might be a little bit cloudy, but I didn't see any rain in the forecast or heavy dew. So we should be good until later in the week. Again, prizes, camaraderie, great deals. It's going to be a good time. And again, it's hamfest.w6ek.org for the latest. And if you still have questions, Kilo Golf 9 Mike, I'm good on QRZ. You can email me directly and I'll answer them. But we're getting close. And again, thanks to everyone for all your help. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Brian. AI6US, Kilo Golf 9 Mike, 73.
Now the prizes, I think we're probably nearing or well over $2,600 in prizes, and yeah, these are great prizes. I mean, we have the Shark RF M1KE, a Bamboo Mini A1 printer with a few reels of PLA. We have tons and tons of awesome prizes. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to everyone there. And we are going to have a social area, so people can, once you walked around and looked at all the equipment, you want to visit with friends. So we have a social area set up under the canopies that you can hang out with your friends and visit. And then, of course, the testing table, donuts and coffee. And definitely bring some spare change for some of these drawings and the mystery box. By the way, we are going to be accepting debit and credit card. So if you run low on cash, you don't have to leave to find an ATM. We will accept debit and credit cards for these items. Hey, good day to you. Thank you so much for taking the lead on the Hamfest. I know it takes, I think, in excess of 50 volunteers. I think we've had between 50 and 60 volunteers to bring off this event. This is not a small Hamfest. The first Hamfest of the season for Northern California and the largest. So looking forward to seeing everyone there. And kudos to you. Thank you, Frank, for taking the lead on this and herding all the cats to get all the volunteers together. KG9M, AI6US, 73. K6DCL. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Brian, and happy Wednesday, your last day. And looking forward to talking to Theta and Gerry tomorrow. Anyway, other than that, I don't know whether you know this or not, but on Fridays, generally it is Tom, NN6H, and he is a friend of mine. And he sometimes signs in when he has time to my GMRS net on Tuesday nights. Lots of fun. He was not there last night, but that's okay. I know he's busy. But anyway, other than that, we got some projects going on. Rethinking, a friend of mine and I have been rethinking the Yaesu DX10 and getting the wire antenna resonant. I don't want to chop off 30 feet of wire. So he found a couple of resources that can make a ICOM 730, which is the newer one of ICOM's antenna tuner, auto tuner, can work on other radios, including the Yaesu FX10. So we're going to go and try it. I got one coming in. It should be here by Saturday. And I'm glad I left the 730 on the side of the wall and of the house outside. And all I have to do is switch the wires around and plug and play. So let's hope it works. I have had products from this guy before. He's on eBay, and Dan is a good guy. He does good work, very good work. And I got from him a device that he put together for a ICOM 705 that you could use any of the auto tuners of ICOM. And so it worked perfectly for the ICOM 705. So I'm going to go out and see what happens, and hopefully the tuner will work on my Yuzu DX10. Wouldn't that be great? I don't have to crawl through snake-infested weeds. I wouldn't do it anyway, but I wouldn't want anybody else to do it. So that's a project. I'm still working on my project to get DMR on my new Bridgecom radio, and I downloaded everything, and now I got to go find the setup for putting all of the DMR locations on the cold plugs, and that'll be I think my last step to getting that going. I'm looking forward to it. So that's the things that I got going. I hope I can keep them straight in my mind, and I'm sure I will, and we'll get things going. So that's about it, I think, for projects. Lucy's doing great. She's got a little pain in her right hip area, and we're not sure where that's coming from, but she does acrobatic tricks to get things from lower shelves, so that may be part of it. And I'm doing okay, feeling, trying to do my exercises that the PT gave me, and all that stuff. So that's about it, Brian. What do you got going today besides ending the show here in another 35 minutes or 20 minutes?
Whiskey 60, Oscar Mike.
Well, let's see if the timeout cleared. One moment. Okay. Well, you timed out our repeater. You're quite good at that. I think we're going to get you an award here soon for the most timeouts of a repeater annually. Yes, just wanted to mention Dan, I forget his name, Dan Planet, I think he goes by or something. But yeah, Dan Planet makes a awesome device, and the best place to buy it, of course, is Tindie, 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 and the device you speak of is the Yaesu to ICOM and LDG converter interface, $54 on Tindie. And yeah, Dan makes good products. I've seen this before, and so I'm sure that will work good with your antenna tuner there. Excellent. All right, so drum roll, please. The Timeout of the Year award is posthumously given to K6DCL. Back to you.
Oh, I thought it was at 4 minutes, but maybe not. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody that I do, everybody, but that's the way it is. I like to talk sometimes more than other people. And I don't know how I can do it and other people can't, but I'm not going to mention any names. See you later, 7-3. And I'm going to try and see if I can time it out again. No, I won't. I'll keep it under a minute. K6DCL 73, AI6US K6DCL. Do it the right way. See you later.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Mark's connection drops frequently, and so, just naturally his connection to the internet drops, and so that resets the timer, whereas your connection is a little more stable, so when you hit transmit, you're pretty much full on for the duration of your transmission. So, yeah, anyway, I'll just let you know, you don't, when you check into the net, I will let you speak several times. We can throw it back and forth and have a conversation. And I know you act, I know you've been to many church services in your life, and you figure once you have the soapbox, you better claim it. I'm poking you, having fun with you, Dave. But yes, indeed, you're welcome back to several rounds, and we'll have a good conversation over whatever you share. Hey, good luck. danplanet.com, and that is the IRYS adapter. A good device, and I hope that works well for you, Dave.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that saves me a bunch of headaches, including chopping the wire down to 70 feet. And don't want to do that. It's good. It's good wire. It's good antenna wire. It's made for antennas. Talk to you later. I will remember that I can take breaks. Break.
I'm just amazed that you don't even take a breath. Oh, you're transmitting again.
Can actually do the reset. Anyway, talk to you later. Talk to everybody later. And I apologize again. And I know you're kidding, Brian. K6DCL. See you later.
No apology necessary, Dave. It's the mechanics of the repeater system that said enough is enough. Actually, we have a program to save lives. We want you to breathe. Have a great day, Dave. K6DCL, always a pleasure. Good morning to Lucy. Good morning, Greg, KO6TH. What do you have for the net this morning?
Good morning, Brian. Good morning into the net. Greg, KO6TH. I think what Dave needs is a little box that I've got next to my rig here. It's got LEDs on it that count up. And when it gets to the top, it's 3 minutes. And so I can just kind of watch the thing go up. This is 15 seconds there. Then there's 30, 45, 60, 90, 120, and then 180. And then if it gets past the top, it blinks at me. Says, hey, you just timed out the repeater. Works pretty well. Waffles. Nobody's talked about, everybody's talked about the batter you put in. No one has talked about the form of the waffle. Yes, all the nooks and crannies, that's why it's better than pancakes. But the waffle maker that we had was from Disneyland. Mickey Mouse, with the ears on it, and the challenge, of course, was to get the ears to be fully populated but not spill out over, out the edges. So I think my daughter down in Lincoln has ours. Yeah, a lot of fun. Let's see, today is a busy one. I've got to get out and do some errands, got to do some shopping. I've got an astronomy board meeting at 5, and then in the shack tonight at 7:30. Bring your puzzles, bring your challenges. I'm going to review the troubleshooting technique that I use on my car. I think it's instructive overall for troubleshooting, and kind of fun to see what I went through with this thing. But bring challenges. We like to solve puzzles. KO6TH, back to you, and see, the 90-second light just came on.
I'm kind of cool. I have the hourglass with sand in it. Everybody out there knows I use that. And I gifted it to several other of the net control operators as well. I don't know if they use it. The waffle form factor, great angle to take on this conversation. The Mickey Mouse ears, making sure you don't, that you fill the ears but don't overfill them. But am I the only one out there that really enjoys the overfill portion of the waffle? Those little edges, those little tags that are on the edge of the waffle, they make great dipping for pulling those things off of the waffle and dipping them directly into your syrup.
Now that I've never tried. usually just makes a mess on the countertop, and so we try to avoid that. It also makes a mess out of the side of the waffle iron. But I've never tried that. That's a good observation. Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking about having some waffles this morning, but I just ended up with cereal. So dug through the closet looking for that Mickey Mouse one. I do believe it's down in Lincoln. I've got 3. I think we have 3 waffle. I mean, you just keep getting them at some point. And I think how many did we go through with the kids growing up? We went through several, I know. Really, it's a big hit on Sunday mornings to have waffles. Anyway, looking forward to the Ham Fest on Saturday. Looking for radio and antenna for the sailboat. Ham radio. The thing already has VHF, but ham radio and antennas for the boat. I've got some other boat parts arriving today, and then Millie's one of Millie's meds is supposed to be delivered today, but they haven't even gotten it yet. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, busy end of the week, and then I get to next week. I got to go down to the boat and start installing parts. So and then of course it's going to rain. Yay. Anyway, back to you, Brian. K06TH.
Comment.
Go ahead with your comment there, Glenn.
It just occurred to me that a good thing to try would be to, for a waffle dipping sauce, would be stir a little maple syrup into the applesauce. Maple syrup and applesauce dip.
That's what happens naturally on my plate. No, that's what I'm talking about, Glenn. Yeah, and Greg, I think it also has to do with the design of the waffle maker. You know, the waffle maker that I have was actually a wedding gift for my mom and dad back in 1951, I think it was. And so this is a durable item, and it has a gutter around the edge of the waffle maker that is the oil catchment. And when the batter overflows and goes into that, it makes this wonderful ridge that you can tear off the edge of your waffle, and it's usually crispier. And it's actually one of my favorite parts of the waffle is the part that maybe some people discard. So it might just be the design of the waffle. Greg, you have a wonderful day, and I am going to be having waffles for breakfast. That is for sure. K06TH, AI6US, you have a great astronomy board meeting this evening, and we'll see you at Hamfest this Saturday.
Gutter along the side of the waffle maker, that's the secret. No, ours don't have that. That's the difference. They're also electric. I'm assuming yours is you put on the stovetop. Anyway, on with the day. Everybody have a good one. Stay cool, I guess. Be a nice day today. Only got 38 watts coming down from the sky, so a little bit of overcast right now. 73, K06TH.
Oh, no, they had electricity back in 1951. No, this is an electric, and you can flip the iron skillet to have a skillet side for making like pressed sandwiches, or the other side is a waffle pattern. And so, this is a big chromed beast from 1950s. Good morning to you. You have a wonderful day. KN6NUF. Good morning, Joshua.
Good morning, Brian, and good morning to the net. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful day out today. It's so hard to be on the computer, but thankfully I can take it with me outside here and just enjoying the birds singing in the backyard. Love all the talk about waffles. That's a popular item in our house. We're always doing waffles or flapjacks. We like to call ourselves the Flippin' Flapjack Mafia because we do pancakes probably 3 or 4 times a week. The kids can't get enough of it.
Well, it's really something. It's a very similar batter. I think the only difference between my pancake batter and my typical waffle batter is just adding some oil into the mix, sometimes an egg, but mostly just the addition of oil into the batter. But the Flippin' Flapjack Mafia, did I hear that right?
Yeah, you heard it right. Years ago, I think it was something that Alyssa had said when she was little. She was like, "We're like a flippin' flapjack mafia. We have so many flapjacks," and so it just kind of stuck. It was funny, but yeah, my batter's pretty much the same. But I don't use regular oil. I use bacon grease, and the kids love that. So, yeah, we try to reuse our bacon grease and everything because it makes everything taste better.
You know, everything tastes better with bacon in it. We know that. I have never used bacon grease for the oil substitute. But yeah, that takes probably the flavor to a whole new level. I'm sure your Jewish friends enjoy it.
Yeah, we're all hardcore meat eaters here, so we've never had any complaints. But I think Greg was talking about a waffle maker that you put on your stove, and I like the sound of that because all we have is a little electric one, and I think it would probably cook better to have one that I can control the temperature better than the electric one that we have. But the electric one that we have is really convenient because I can take the plates off of it, and they're dishwasher safe. It makes cleanup super easy.
No! Did you see that in slow motion? Oh, no, you never wash the plates. You wipe them down with a cloth so so that the oil doesn't go rancid, but no. Washing the plates, it's kind of like taking your cast iron skillet and throwing it in the dishwasher. No, if you ever have the opportunity, go to one of the local thrift stores and try finding one of these old four-place chromed. They're huge, and they are chrome with light handles. I've seen them on occasion at estate sales and stuff, and that will take your waffle making to the next level. Because it's heated on both sides, so you don't. The thing about the stove ones, I've seen them before. One side will cool as you flip back and forth, and so to get an even cook on both sides, it's a little more challenging. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of maybe taking one of those on a camping trip.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I'm going to have to do some digging and see if I can find one. I've been looking for years, but I've never come across one that other than an electric one. So yeah, definitely have to do some digging. I know I've seen them before in the past and heard about them, but so I know it's not a new concept or anything. But yeah, just not one that I've come across. But definitely would be a good addition for camping for sure. We're getting ready to plan our camping adventures here with the weather getting nicer. I know that they opened up the reservations for Logger Campground, so I know we got that coming up here in September.
Okay, just so you know, there are two versions of a waffle maker. One of them has a long handle made for campfires, so it is the handle's probably 2.5, 3 feet long, with the waffle maker on the other side of it. And then there is the one that's for home usage, just basically two folded skillets with the waffle pattern in them. So yeah, they are available, and I just Googled it, and yeah, they are available everywhere, even through the Home Depot website, believe it or not.
Yeah, Home Depot is trying to branch out on their products. Everybody's trying to adopt the Amazon business model, allowing third-party sellers through their store and things like that. And for some it works, some it's not working at all. So it's kind of interesting to see in digital retail since I spend so much in that space. But I know you got a lot of other people on the list to get to, and it's almost that hour. So have a great day, Brian. Everyone have a wonderful day. With beautiful weather, and hug someone you love. KN6NUS.
Well, excellent. Yeah, it looks like you can purchase the long-handle version somewhere around. REI has one even down at $25, but looks like more typical in the $35 range. And yeah, maybe we'll see one of those at the next camp out. The next camp out, Stampede Reservoir. The late summer, we're going to be having the club camp out up there again. So that's going to be pop it on the schedule soon. All right. Thanks for checking in. KN6NUF with the Waffle Mafia, or Pancake Mafia, AI6US Coffee Break Net. Wow, we are almost to the top of the hour. We've had some fun conversations this morning. Let's start opening up for in and outs only, and then in about 5 minutes or so, we'll move over for the log. So anybody want a quick in and out? AI6US for the Coffee Break Net.
Kilo 5, Alpha Bravo November.
Kilo 6, Delta X-ray November.
November 6, Foxtrot Mike Delta, Jimmy and Pharaoh.
Kilo Golf 6, November, Lima, Michigan Mobile, log only. Good morning, Brian.
Well, we're not doing a log only yet, but I will take you as an in and out. Good morning to W8LDT, and good morning to Frank, KG6 in LW. Good morning, Jimmy, in 6FMD, and good morning to Simone, K6DXN, and good morning, K5ABN. These will be quick in and outs, and anybody else for the quick in and out list, I will be taking for the log after this round.
Kilo Echo 6, Juliet Echo Mary. Listening to your conversation, we're going to have to talk about cracklings as a breakfast item. In and out, 73.
All right. So it sounds like you want to add cracklings to the talk of the Coffee Break Net. We will consider that. All right. So up to the top of this list, good morning, K5ABN for a quick in and out. Good morning. And I think this may be the first time I've checked you into the net. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Travis. Tango Romeo Alpha Victor Sierra. Not the first time I check in. I'm checking in via Echolink from Northwest Arkansas, and just literally just woke up and haven't even had my coffee yet.
Yep, and I typed it in wrong. I do apologize. Yeah, I see that I talked to you on about a week ago. So welcome. Well, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us this morning. Hopefully all this talk of waffles and such did not change your breakfast plans. Good morning. Anything for the net today?
No, just wanted to check in and say hello, and just checking in to check in somewhat here and say good morning. So I'll be, like you said, in and out. So 73 from Kilo 5, Alpha Bravo November.
All right, Travis, you have a great day ahead. Thanks for checking in. And good morning, Simone. And up after you will be Jimmy. We had a check-in earlier. Somebody sat on your back porch. Hopefully he read the sign. Good morning.
Wait, I missed that. Somebody was on my back porch earlier, other than me? They must have been out here real early.
No, earlier today, let's see, somebody mentioned that they got together with you and Jimmy. Trying to remember who that was. It was earlier this morning on early check-ins, and mentioned that he had been sitting out on your back porch, and he was glad to have met you. I'll find out who that was. Looking through the net here. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, K06KBH, Tim, super cool guy, man. I got to meet him in person. Am I making it okay on the HT, or do I need to please stand up? Please stand up.
No, you're 80% into the repeater. Good copyable signal. Yeah, I was more concerned that Tim followed your sign, the rules hanging on the wall.
Oh,
I forgot about that sign. I know it's still up there. He didn't make mention of it, and I didn't hear any kind of tinkling, so I guess I'm good there. No, really cool guy. I've been talking to him since shortly after he got licensed, and I'm kind of elmering him, and he came over here to pick up one of my little Goblin 9-to-1 wire winders there, so yeah, really cool guy, man. And I don't have a whole bunch. I'm running a new run of RG8X, so that's what I'm doing while I'm listening. I've been listening since the inception of the net. That's the wrong word. Since you first fired up, I've just been listening, got some country music playing. I'm enjoying The Bachelor couple days. Yeah, that sounds pretty selfish, but I am enjoying it, I won't lie. Anyway, trying to get the house ready. I got some friends coming up from Southern Cal, so lining up my little and thanks for taking my check-in.
Well, I know we're going back a couple of years, but Simone told us about a sign he had hung on his back porch that prompts people not to tinkle over the edge. So if you're wondering what sign we're talking about, a good humorous sign hanging on the back patio. Simone, you have a wonderful day, and good luck with the Max run. And yeah, country music and the Coffee Break Net go hand in hand. You know, we all have lost our wives, our pickup trucks, and our dogs, and our... Yeah, you have a great day, Simone. 7-3. Enjoy bachelordom for a few days. I'm sure you will welcome Dawn back with open arms. So, 7-3.
7-3. Oh, and my if you're taking votes, thumbs down on the new AI intro. I hope that was just a once and done. All right, talk to you later.
Well, evidently you don't get up too early, because every time I do the Coffee Break Net, I rotate through. I have like about 20 different intros. So, yeah, yo, homies. I guess you don't relate to that one well. But anyway, yeah, we have a cowboy and a blue collar and an Aussie and yeah, we have interesting introductions to the Coffee Break Net on the mornings. Have a great day, Simone. K6DXN, AI6US. Good morning, Jimmy. N6FMD. What do you have for the net this morning?
Good morning, Brian in the net. Hey, I'll give you a thumbs up on the intro this morning. I'll counter Simone there. I'm actually going to go meet Tom over at Browns Ravine. I got a little time this morning. I have to work later this afternoon, but we're going to activate on SSB, and then I got some new bandpass filters and notch filters. So we're going to set up two K6JR, or I guess imitation ones, since we're not using the 4-to-1. We're going with a 5-to-1 chameleon. But we're going to set two antennas up. We're going to be pretty close to each other. I mean, not close enough. Probably the antennas will be at least 25 feet apart, but we're right next to each other and operate FT8 on different bands, and we're going to see how it goes. I'm testing for fill safe, but we've been talking forever about going out and doing an FT8 activation together. Simone doesn't like FT8. He calls it FT fake. But we enjoy it, so we're going to activate on a single side band just because we can. The bands are open, so we definitely want to take advantage of that. And then we're going to switch over to FT8 and bandpass filters and see how that goes.
All right, Jimmy. Yeah, I don't know. Something's up. Just to kind of give you a heads up, you are full into the repeater, full scale into the repeater, but there is a interesting noise on you. Don't know if you're charging a phone or have a inverter or something running nearby, but something is really heavy on your signal there. But very good. Hey, have a wonderful POTA activation, and I think you said you're going into the Auburn Recreation area?
We're going into Folsom Lake. I think we're gonna activate in a field out there at Browns Ravine. Is this better? I was in a pretty bad spot.
No, that's crazy. The signal strength is exactly the same, but yeah, you're sounding good. No, funny. I can see the signal strength hitting the repeater, and it's no difference on that. But yeah, big difference in your audio. Well, Jimmy, you have a great POTA activation, and yeah, I know where Simona's coming from when it comes to digital modes, but you know the thing is, after I get off talking here for 2.5, 3 hours, sometimes I just enjoy a digital mode where I don't have to speak. Have a great day, Jimmy.
All right, you guys too. Thanks for doing that. 73.
All right, 7-3 there, Jimmy. Clearing within 6 FMD, and good morning, Frank, KG6 NLW. What do you have for the net this morning?
Morning, Brian and Net. Not much. Mobiling home from Stockton and enjoying the drive. It's a very backward schedule for me now, and well, I'll get it all worked out, but until then, I get to suffer through a new weird schedule and new weird sleeping time. So people aren't going to hear me out as much, but things are still going to happen on the backside, on the streaming side. Yeah, beautiful day out. And yeah, earlier I was sitting there in the office, so I really couldn't stick around, but I was listening, remotely, and heard that, so I thought I'd chime in real quick with Ron there. Other than that, not much else going on. Waffles all the way. But you got to make them in the old school waffle maker, where it's 2 wide by 2 tall. What is that? 4 squared, and you get the edges just crispy and just right, and then no syrup. No syrup at all. I'm sorry, syrup's too sweet for me. But lather that thing in butter and let it melt into every last crevice on all 4 sides. That is absolutely perfect. Maybe a little powdered sugar or brown sugar on it. Absolutely wonderful. Anyway, mobiling home, and y'all have a great day. It's US in the Coffee Break Net, KG6 and LW Mobile.
Well, glad to hear you're out on the rails again and working there. Yeah, I think you're the first person who has mentioned no syrup on the waffles. Most of us think those little divots in the waffle is just so more surface area and more holding power for the syrup. Frank, you have a wonderful, and that's the exact model I have of waffle maker, 2 by 2, and old school chromed behemoth, just a monster. 7-3, Frank, good to hear you. KG6 NLW, AI6US, enjoy your days off. 7-3.
Oh, I get to go home and rest for a few hours, and then I have online stuff tonight. Oh, and +1 for your intros in the morning. I think they mix perfectly with the intro that I have for the live streams. And your country cowboy one sounds exactly like a mix of Adam West and Sam Elliott. I love it. 73, Brian.
Yeah, one of my favorites, I kind of like the Nat Geo one. I put a lot into writing that one, and it kind of pisses me off when I hear people don't like it. Get it? Piss helmet. Never mind. Piss helmet. 7-3. A warped sense of humor, I admit that. W6EK Good morning, Tim. I know you were for the log, but hey, well, I guess you can be for the log now. Good morning, Tim.
Well, good morning, Brian. No, me and Cindy had just got back into the truck from eating lunch, and I could have swore you said for the log only, but that's okay. I'll talk. And yeah, we had conies for lunch today, and you were wondering what the perfect coney was.
And I would love for you to tell me what is a perfect coney for coney connoisseurs like yourselves.
Well, so I usually just like the coney sauce with mustard. They usually come with mustard and onions and chili sauce, which they call that the Detroit style, or you can get the Flint style. I'm right between Detroit and Flint,
And you can get the Flint style, which they don't do the sauce. They do ground up burger, which too dry for me. So no, I like a nice wet coney, and boy, and I drive an hour and 15 minutes 3 or 4 times a week to get these conies just because they're that good.
Well, one might argue if you've been to Flint, it is maybe that dry meat is very suitable for it. Interesting. So the Flint is no sauce but a burger. Is that a hamburger, or is that pork or beef, or what is it, or unknown?
It is ground up beef and, on a hot dog, seasoned beef naturally. And then the other one is like the sauce has got the beef in it too, but there's like a sauce in there. So it's more saucy than it is a burger. So, if that makes any sense. And, and we go a lot of places. We like the small little mom and pop diners. And, every day we'll go someplace, and we usually drive half hour to an hour wherever we're going. And we pass many, many restaurants on our way. We got restaurants that are just 2 miles from our house, but we pass them up and go for the drive, and the Coffee Break Net is what makes the drive nice. We can sit there and listen and go in there and eat, come back out. Hey, they're still there, and depending on what time we leave in the morning, we can usually catch the end of the Coffee Break Net for a log only.
Now I know your routine. I understand it now. No, there is always this place that you are willing to drive to. And anybody listening who's in the greater Roseville, Sacramento, Lincoln area knows about Nubbins. Nubbins Drive-In, Washington Boulevard, down in Roseville, California. It is it was an old drive-in joint, and just a little place that probably had like 12 stalls in it at its heyday. Now it's a walk-up window. Nubbins has the best hamburgers ever. So I understand your fixation on places to drive to. I will drive down. We go down to the valley for a Nubbins. Well, you and Cindy have a wonderful day. Happy Wednesday.
Yes. Yep. Happy Wednesday to you. And before I go, I do have one project that I'm about ready to start, and it's called Broadcastify. I'm going to try to get my node online so I can listen to that since the weather is going to start getting better, and I want to be able to still listen to the net, but on my motorcycle. So, and then maybe when I get into the restaurant, maybe I can do Echolink like I did yesterday and check in. That's what I'm thinking. So, Broadcastify is what I'm working on next.
Okay, I don't know if you know this, but the Coffee Break Net, the W6EK Repeater, both of our 440 repeater and our 2-meter repeater are on Broadcastify. And yeah, Broadcastify is so easy to add to it. If you want to do your own, whatever you're listening to on your node, put that out on Broadcastify. That is an option as well. But yeah, just I have a Android phone here, and I use an app called Scanner Radio. It's a free app, and it gets all of the Broadcastify scanner stuff. And so, yeah, Broadcastify, W6EK Repeater has been on Broadcastify for, probably 12 plus years. So, yeah, it's easy to add, and good luck to you there, Tim. Or just bring us up on your phone using any of the scanner apps on a smart device.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the app I got was a scanner, police scanner or something app. I think that's what yours is. So great. One last question before I go. You say it's real easy to set up. Do I just put my node online, or do I have to connect it to a radio and leave a radio on all the time, or how does that work? I looked at it and it didn't look real easy to me.
No, as I recall, Broadcastify is just you have to create your Broadcastify account, and there are free accounts out there, and you create that and you put the credentials in your node, and it just pulls whatever audio off of your. But yes, it ingests from other devices, and so we ingest our audio from our repeater into Broadcastify. But you can point it at anything: local police communications, your HF radio, whatever the sound source, it will put it out on Broadcastify. But with the scanner radio app on your phone, you don't have to install anything on your node unless you want to put your transmissions out on to Broadcastify for everyone to listen to. So just having the app on your phone, all you have to do is put in search for W6EK 2-meter, and we will come right up on your phone as a listen only.
Comment
As well. Go ahead, Frank, with your comment.
So not only can you do that, but if you have a radio reference account, then you already have a Broadcastify account because they're owned by the same company, they're the same person and all that. So if you already have radio reference, use that login on Broadcastify.
Good point there. And then Daniel, N9MUF, you had a comment?
Just wanted to throw myself out as a resource. I listen to and check in the net all the time on my motorcycle. I've used both Echolink and DV Switch for that, and I've configured a chubby button for the trigger. And I check in every Sunday on the way home from church once it turns into motorcycle season, and Jeff can attest to that. But I'm good on QRZ if you wanted to talk offline. N9MUF.
Well, great, Daniel. Thank you for that. I may just reach out to you. That sounds exactly what I'm trying to figure out. But this was a quick in and out, and I put Brian way past the witching hour. That's what he gets for making me talk. So, okay. Just kidding, Brian. I'm going to jump on out of here. AI6US W8LTT73. Thanks for all the info, you guys.
No, Broadcastify is a wonderful tool, and in fact, I looked at it a few minutes ago. We had 9 people, I think, listening in on Broadcastify this morning. So a great way to just have Broadcastify and the scanner apps on any smart device or any computer. A great way to just kind of have audio in the background, and I have it set up so if any big alerts happen to news breaking events, it connects up automatically. So I can listen to any scanner big activities where, say 1,000 people suddenly start listening to a scanner app because of an event. Very interesting to hear the back end of the emergency comms. All right, with that, let's go ahead and close up the Coffee Break Net for this Wednesday morning. And we are well into overtime. Let's go ahead and go for the log only. Any takers out there, please spread them out, and we'll get everyone in the log before I get things closed down for this Wednesday. Good morning. Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. We will see a lot of you at the historic Loomis Depot train station this Saturday, 7 a.m. Buyers, 6 a.m. sellers, and looking forward to seeing a lot of people there. We're going to be running the Coffee Break Net from there this Saturday. Good morning. For the log only check-ins, please.
This is Kilo Bravo 7, Delta Foxtrot Papa, KB7DFP, Kim in Twin Falls.
KE0YJJ Rick, near but not in Roscoe Center, Minnesota.
KA6UAI.
Alpha Whiskey Bravo 3, Charlie, Sierra Yankee.
KN6, SSC. Morning, Brian. KN6, SSP. Morning, Brian.
All right, good morning, Art. Not sure how many times you want to get in the log, but I'll put you in once. Good morning, Art. KN6 SSP. WB3CSY, good morning to Rick. And then I heard KA6UAI, good morning, Ron. And KE0YJJ, good morning, Rick. And KB7DFP, good morning to Ken. And there was an AK station in there. A lot of doubling, but let's start with the AK station.
Good morning, Brian. This is AK6NS.
Okay, AK6NS, good morning to you there, Ray. Got you in the log. All right, now I know I missed a lot of other stations. Appreciate you spreading it out, but unfortunately, it was just a spread out kerfuffle. Who else is out there? We'll get you in the log.
KG6QBB.
W1ATB. Good morning, Brian, and I'll see you Saturday.
AI6LZ.
WB6UBK.
And we listened in on the life of Brian, KD9HPZ. Glad you didn't say any cuss words. WB6UBK, good morning there. John, AI6LZ, good morning, Bert. Got you in the log. W1ATB, good morning, Aaron. And give me a call if you would. I need to coordinate all of the gift certificates, make sure that how those gift certificates are being delivered and other items for the Hamfest. So give me a call when you have a chance, please, Aaron, W1ATB. KG6QBB, good morning, Alex. Got you in the log. KN6SSP, good morning, Art. WB3CSY, good morning, Rick. AK6NS, good morning, Ray. KA6UAI, good morning, Ron. KE0YJJ, good morning, Rick. And KD7DFP, Ken, what's for lunch?
Split pea soup with ham.
Split pea soup with ham. You always give me good lunch ideas there. You have a great day, Ken. Okay, this is going to be last call for the log. Any takers? That was easy. Good morning. Well, this is my Friday, your day. So wishing everybody a wonderful day ahead. Happy hump day. And thanks for being part of the Coffee Break Net. Be here tomorrow, where Theta, W6EWF, and Gerry, W6E, will be your net control host and conversation facilitators. And if you don't have this Saturday on your calendar, if you're in the Northern California or Nevada area, come on over for the Hamfest, the historic Loomis train station, the depot there. We take that over for Northern California's first Hamfest of the season and the largest. Drop on in. There'll be a lot of vendors there, a lot of prizes, and of course, social time. Hamfest are all about seeing other hams, visiting, and just having a great morning. Drop on in. That's 6 a.m. sellers, 7 a.m. buyers at Loomis, California. More information on W6EK.org. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wish everybody a wonderful Wednesday. This has been the Coffee Break Net, where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. This net sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. We're here every day of the week, 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Time. That's 1430 to 1700 UTC. So everyone have a wonderful day ahead. I'm Brian, AI6US, in beautiful Meta Vista, California, returning the W6EK Repeater and connected repeaters and nodes back to normal operation, whatever that may be. Happy hump day, everybody. 7-3s.
AI6US, WV3CSY, just for a quick comment or a question.
Yesterday. Yeah, go ahead with that question, Art.
Okay, it's Rick. I didn't know if somebody else was in there. Brian, yesterday when I walked away from the radio, I was wondering, did I actually give a satisfactory answer to why that hotel owner would always want to sweep the floor each evening?